You're watching PowerNation. Today on Engine Power, we have 4 projects hitting the dyno.
The chassis dyno! 4 power plants built by us in 4 projects built here at PowerNation are going to be put through the ringer on the roller to see what they lose from the crankshaft to the wheels.
We're gonna thrash each one and show you real-world numbers on what they make at the tire.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Engine Power. Today is gonna look a little different, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have built several engines over the last decade or so, and every single one has hit the engine dyno for us to test it out and see how much it makes at the crank. But these engines eventually go into projects, so today we're gonna switch it up
and run everything on the chassis dyno. There's a little something for everyone. You might recognize all these, but the common thread is we built the bullets for all of them. And this is quite the collection. We have stuff from the 60s to the 90s. We have trucks, we have cars, we have big blocks, small blocks, high tech, old school, new school, a combination of old school and new school. A lot that's gonna happen and are all gonna hit the rollers, but first we're gonna give you a refresher rundown of what we have.
For all you truck fans, we have a 1985 Chevy K10 built by Music City Trucks. They call it Faux Guy as a tribute to the Fall Guy series. It has a 496 cubic inch big block Chevy with a carburetor, so that's going to be a lot of fun to run. One of the prettiest cars to come out of Detroit Muscle is this 1971 Caprice, affectionately named Fat Stack because it is a high dollar build and packs a high dollar engine, 419 cubic inch LS3 with a 3-liter Whipple on top.
Moving over to the sportier side, we have another project from Detroit Muscle, Project Fastlane, featuring a 410 cubic inch EFI Windsor that made a bunch of power on the engine dyno. Then we come to one of the fan favorites. This is Project Roadburner. This is a Roadrunner that has a 6.4 junkyard Gen 3 Hemi that we spiced up with a cam, tunnel ram, and a couple of 4 barrels. Now, we're gonna run all these across the dyno, but the hardest thing to do is determine which one is gonna run first. I guess that determination's been made. Let's go.
All right, so we got Roadburner into the shop, strapped down on the chassis dyno. So let's go a little more in depth about what we're dealing with here. The engine is actually a 2016 6.4 liter Gen 3 Hemi from a Ram 2500. And this was a junkyard engine that we got direct from a local junkyard, and it was quite crispy. It had been in a car fire, so everything on top was all melted. The valve covers, the wiring, the intake was gone. There was gloves plugging the intake ports. It definitely looked rough, but we actually wanted to test it out before we put any new parts on it. So we rolled it into the dyno, changed the oil, checked the compression, and actually started it up with a single carb and used a Holley Terminator X to run the ignition. We made an actual dyno pull with this engine with the stock cam all the way stuck in the advanced position, and it made 361 horsepower and 409 pound-feet. So not bad, pretty good, and it was a way to test out the engine before we pulled it out of the dyno, took it over to the assembly area, checked some bearings, and made sure it was ready to go for our upgrades.
After that, we put our own magic to it and put a few parts back on it to get it running. We used an off-the-shelf hydraulic roller cam. We changed the lifters. We also went ahead and put a dual 4-barrel top on that high ram and put on 2 QFT Black Diamond 750s. Everything all said and done, we get it back on the pump and it came to life. Engine made 540 horsepower and 494 pound-feet of torque, which was pretty impressive for how many inches this is. After that, we took it down to the guys in Detroit Muscle so they could get to work themselves. The car itself has new suspension in the front and back, has a new rear end in it, has a new interior, which is Spartan but clean, and they mated this engine to a 5-speed transmission, even putting in the traditional pistol grip style shifter. All in all, pretty cool. They went out and had their fun. Now we can have our fun with it.
We're gonna see what this thing will do. I think I set it at 6,700, if I remember correctly. So get some heat in this thing first, and then we'll go. All right, I'm gonna open the cutout.
Are you gonna open the cars right now?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't the guy?
Exactly.
Open them up.
All right, ready?
cutouts are like my favorite
Every
thing.
time. Every time.
459
Oh, yeah, there you go.
and a 433 for torque.
That's like exactly what it should be making.
Yeah, no, that's you figure driveline loss from manual and a rear end like this.
Yeah.
It's 15-16%,
Yeah.
right? So if the engine makes 540, it's right there.
Yeah, that's killer.
All right, I'm doing that.
All right, hop in this thing.
I'm gonna dent the floorboard because nothing cooler than dual floor barrels. It's like being back in my childhood.
Run it. Let her rip.
That is spectacular. That never gets old.
451 and 412.
Man,
So,
that's...
I mean, it's right there. It's got a little more heat in it now, but
Yeah, it's got a little heater, but boy, that never gets old. Let me close her off here. Back into street status.
I think that's a success.
That is a win all the way around. All
On to
right,
the next one.
1 down, 3 to go. Up next, we jump in the Wayback Machine as we kick it back to the 90s with big style and big power. You know, I feel like Zach Morris going to pick up Kelly Kapowski at Bayside High in LA, sitting in this 1990 Ford Mustang GT convertible. This is another project from the guys down in Detroit Muscle, and it started out as a bone stock car, and they've done a lot to it here on the chassis side. They added a Maximum Motorsports K-member and caster camber plates, a TKX 5-speed, Mosier rear axle, and then the obvious, a wide body kit from JBA Speed, giant wheels and tires. And this is really cool. Obviously, it is very distinct with its Trapper Keeper looking wrap, but that's not why it's here. It's what's under the hood is what we think counts. Take it away, Screech.
I don't know who that is. Must be a good-looking guy, though. Under the hood is the coup de grace of this car. This is a 410 cubic inch Windsor that you probably don't recognize, but this is actually a project named Old Gray Mare. This has been a classic for several years. Forged cranked, forged rods, forged pistons, 10.32 to 1 static compression ratio, big solid roller, 252, 260 at 50, trick flow 225, high port heads, and the last time that this was on the dyno, it made 597, which is very respectable, and the best we ever had it make was 617 horsepower and 537 pound-feet. So when the guys in Detroit were telling us about this project, this engine seemed like a perfect fit, so we handed it off and they actually reconfigured it for the car. So we have a vintage air full front accessory drive, Fox Body oil pan. They painted it up and made it look really, really nice. And they also switched it over to Edelbrock's Pro Flow 4 injection system. It's a port EFI system that uses their Super Victor EFI manifold. So we're gonna be really interested to see what this thing makes at the tire. Let's get started. Hit it. Cool thing about these Edelbrock Pro Flow 4s is that you can look at all the data on your phone. So I can watch everything on the engine right here while he makes a pull.
Back in the day, all the cool kids had Mustangs.
What? All right, 482 horsepower, 444 pound-feet.
What am I?
482 and 444.
That's good.
That's extremely good.
That's extremely good.
That's extremely close to what it should be. I mean, there's a lot of variables that have changed as far as header size, induction, full exhaust, really big tire. I mean, all that stuff takes some load out of it. So
I'm impressed.
I am. I mean, especially in a car this light.
Yeah.
480. Now, I've actually ridden in this car once. I've never driven it, but I bet at 480 at the wheel in a car this light, that's going to be extremely fun. Dang.
Well,
Right,
you're going to experience it because
yeah,
it's
let
your
me
turn.
make a hit in this.
All right.
Here, I'll let you hold that. I'm gonna make a hit in this. Oh.
Make sure you tell AC Slater and Jesse Spano I said hi.
I don't know who those people are.
He's not gonna get any of these references.
Yeah. Oh, I don't fit. I'm too tall to ride this ride. This car definitely fits you better.
This is the kind of the stuff when I was in my 20s. You know, rolling in your 5.0, got the rag top down so your hair can blow.
Okay, I know that one. I got that one.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun.
I mean,
I really
solid
like it.
roller small block turning, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
we're shutting it down at 71, 7,200.
I know, and I mean, this thing will turn 7,500
Absolutely,
all day long. But
wow.
I mean, hitting peak power, making exactly what it should. Curve
Yeah.
looks great. I mean,
man, we're like 2 for 2.
I know. We're just plowing through these things. All right,
All right,
2 down, 2 to go.
all right, now it's gonna get crazy.
Stay tuned, because up next, we become the unwitting, unknown stuntman with the sketchiest vehicle we've ever had on the chassis dyno.
I need one of those, the police riot shields to stand behind.
This is the first time I've had to get on a step stool to tell you about an engine in a vehicle, but this is the first time we've had something this big on the rollers. This engine was one of 2 that Frankie and I purposely built to hook in tandem, in line, and have not only big power on the dyno, but a very exciting dyno session. This is a 496 cubic inch big block Chevy. A little bit about it: has all forged internals. It has trick flow 320cc power port cylinder heads on it. It has a 236, 242 at 50 hydraulic roller cam. It also has a Wyand track warrior intake topped with an Edelbrock VRS 4150 carburetor. This was engine A of the pair,
And this one made 596 horsepower and 629 pound-feet of torque on the dyno.
the guys in Music City Trucks added this beautiful Billet Specialties front drive system and a set of headers that fit the vehicle and sewed it together. Now, there's a whole bunch more that's done to the chassis, but this thing needs big power to motivate it, and Frankie's gonna tell you the rest of what's on this beautiful tribute truck.
The guys next door did an amazing job transforming this K10 into one of the best looking Faux Guy tribute trucks that we've seen. And it's got a ton of great parts in it besides just the power plant. Now that's backed by a 4L80E TCI automatic transmission with one of their standalone controllers. And that's feeding twin Dana 60 axles front and rear with 410 gears and lockers. To fit the look of the truck, it has a really nice set of 80s chrome wagon wheels with 36s on them. They did a great job with the paint. The interior was done by TMI and it is fully custom and also extremely comfortable to sit in. Now it has all the good 80s amenities that you'd want with the front winch, roll bar, lights. Really brings the truck together. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to chassis dyno. It might be kind of sketchy, but there's only one way to find out.
We have it hooked down. This is going to be exciting, to say the least. You know what you're gonna be doing on the shifter?
I'm gonna be trying some stuff and trying not to kill us both.
Yeah, don't kill us, Clark. I highly advise we don't put it in third, just because if we have like 150 something mile wheel speed on the tire,
No. Yeah,
that's gonna be mildly scary.
That's probably smart. I'm in the safest part, right here.
Letterbox, like 50, somewhere in there.
That's a lot of vibration.
What? Oh, okay.
What did it make? I can't even see it from in here.
350 horse.
Bam! That's great.
It has a wheel speed of 91 miles per hour.
I'm sure it's sketchier out there.
No, yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, well, you can have the safe seat, and I'll take the danger seat. Whew, that was scary. This is gonna be scarier. I need one of those, the police riot shields to stand behind.
I've never done anything quite like this before.
357, 355.
I am the dyno king of crazy dyno runs.
Isn't that the craziest thing ever?
I don't know, that's sketchy as all get out.
Plus, like, with these tires on the road, you don't really feel it, but on the roller,
Yeah.
it's very bouncy.
Yeah, it's like driving on trapezoids.
Yeah.
Dude,
All
that's
right.
awesome.
Man, that's a success. One left.
That is a
That's it.
unique experience.
Coming up, we saved the best for last. The most luxurious, comfortable, and custom chassis dyno session with big blower horsepower on tap.
At last, it's time for the grand finale. We saved the baddest dude for last. This is a 1971 Chevy Caprice. The guys down in Detroit muscle called Fat Stack. This is full custom, frame off. Nothing was left untouched on this car. From its house of color paint, all QA1 suspension. The car was converted over to a manual transmission with a Magnum 6-speed. Also, it has custom US mag wheels, 20s in the front, 22s in the back, all wrapped in Continental Extreme rubber. I believe their term for it was pro luxury. So with a title like that, it needs some professional horsepower under the hood.
That's right. A car that is as big and bad as this one needs a big and bad engine to motivate it down the road. And with the theme of this build being custom, we set up a power plant specifically for this vehicle. What we have is a 419 cubic inch LS3. So a stock LS3 aluminum block filled with a Summit 4-inch stroke crank and a custom set of DSS racing pistons. Stock LS3 heads top it off, and all the valve train is handled by comp cams with an off-the-shelf 239, 255 at 50 hydraulic roller. The front accessory drive and these sweet custom valve covers are from Wagner Automotive. The whole engine is controlled with a Holley Terminator X EFI system, and obviously the big piece of jewelry sitting on top is a Whipple 3-liter hot rod supercharger, providing the pressure to this power plant. When we put this on the engine dyno, it made on the softest, safest pump gas tune-up known to man 838 horsepower and 763 pound-feet. Plenty to get this beast rolling.
You know what they say, that's enough talk, let's get to the action, so let's see what it puts down. Ever since this car has been built, I've been wanting to do this.
I know, this is definitely going to be the highest horsepower one we have today, and I think the highest horsepower in the building right now.
I believe so. Are you ready? On to glory.
Yeah, definitely 745 horsepower and 697 pound-feet.
That's a nice tune-up.
At the tire.
We did a little bit of drivability tuning on this, but never had it on the rollers. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of power. I mean, on the street, that is a lot of power. And look at the graph, like, yeah, even at 6,700, it's making 743 horsepower and 577 pound-feet.
That is a bad dude right there.
That's crazy. All right.
You're up.
If I have to, I'll make a run. Definitely not a bad way to spend our time. Oh, this is pro luxury. That is
Pro
luxurious. Wow.
The interior is all nice in this thing. It's all custom. I like the material
and stuff.
And the padding.
Wow. The pattern. I mean, look at the pattern. That's so cool. Oh yeah. Here we go.
All right, let her buck. Woo. 721.
Okay.
We'll take that. No,
That is just
awesome.
That is awesome, though.
You can't, you can't complain about that. 721. Again, that's the coolant temperature. You know, is like
200.
It's over 200 degrees. So
I mean, and that street trim, super's like never hurt itself tune up. That will make this thing move.
This thing is frightening because it's a 6-speed, right?
Yeah.
This is the biggest and the baddest we've had on here in a while, and I tell you what, this is this was a treat to do. This whole thing was fun to do because look what we got to do. Look what we do for a living, right? We got to just make sure everything ran right, and everything that we've always wanted to know how it ran in a vehicle, we got to do it.
Seeing all these vehicles get finished, seeing them, you know, fully functional and driving around and being like strapping on the chassis dyno, seeing what they make at the wheel and being able to rip them. I mean, I literally can't ask for a better job than that.
Now, these things perform, and I think we did a good job too, so g'day success.
Nice.